It's proper coming down now, mate. And our little channel of fishing is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Hello and welcome to another episode from the Water's Edge. Now, as you can see, we are not on the bank, we are not on the beach, we are in the office today. For those of you who don't know, here in the UK we've been on lockdown since the start of the year, so fishing opportunities haven't been great. We still have been able to get out and go thanks to the great work from the Angling Trust, but it's had to be local. So we have been at a handful of times, but as you can probably tell by the title of this video, it has not been the most fish-filled. But a couple of things today. We've got a few clips to show you from some sessions that haven't quite gone to plan, and I've got a few questions to answer here from the Q&A we posted up about a month or so ago on our social. So getting straight into the video, we're going back to December when we went off the beach, which was the last time we went. Unfortunately, the coast isn't local for us, so we've not been since the restrictions have been in place. But we went to Kessingland again with, I guess, a follow-up really from our last beach fishing video where we posed the question, were whiting the most hated sea fish? Yeah, it's a bit of a follow-on today, and the main things really, again, which was sort of generated through the comments of that last video, was one, we've got a bit of a, what should I say, a very, very different slash strange bait we're going to be trying, which a few people raised in the comments from the last video. And then secondly, they had a lot of love as being an eaten fish. This is the whiting. So hopefully today we're going to fish away, see if we can get a few bigger fish, and then hopefully at the end of the video we're going to cook them up on an open fire and yeah, answer some of your comments about how good they taste. But we've got a decent day for it anyway. We've got one rod out there at the moment, so I'm going to get this one baited up and we'll get it out there. Little nibble on this one, so we'll have a little look and see what we've got. I had a few fish already as well, which, to be honest with you, fishing how we are today and like we were in the last video, it's not really a surprise, you know. There must be millions of them little ones out there. I just hope today, with the idea of doing a little bit of a cook up later, that we actually catch something in size. But it might be a case of battling through these smaller ones and hoping that we do. But I did sort of debate putting out a bigger bait perhaps on a pennel and hoping for a bigger one, but I think we might be better off just fishing a bit of a numbers game today and just trying to work our way through these and using like the mackerel and stuff, and yeah, see if we can get something a little bit bigger. But this one's not too far away now, only dropped this one in pretty close, so I'm pretty sure in a few seconds time we'll have a few fish to show you. More of the same. There you go. Another full house. I think already we've had 3 chucks and I think we've already had 9 fish. So we can't complain on that front. As I say, I really just hope that we find a few bigger ones. But as you look at that, he is a poor old chap. He is a proper pin white. Little flatty on the bottom hook, little dab. And yeah, mixture of baits. We'll mix it up a little bit, perhaps next chuck. Yeah, see if we can't get something a little bit bigger. But we'll get them on hook and we'll get them back. Yes, as I said, that will make a full video. Fingers crossed, we'll be back out in the next 2-3 weeks, something like that. But going on to the questions now. So the first one from Liam Glennie. Hope I've pronounced your name right. Apologies if I haven't. What made you both take up fishing, and how long have you been fishing for? And then a very similar question from LRS Fishing. How did you get into fishing, and how did you learn to fish? So it's a pretty stereotypical answer, I guess, really. My dad grew up on the coast. He was a Galston boy or Yarmouth boy, and he moved to Norwich when he met my mum. So he had an interest in fishing. Took my older brother, took my younger brother, and we all used to go. And then gradually, sort of through the years, we all got a real interest in football and regularly watched Norwich. They sort of all dropped off. Then I carried on going, really. And then a good friend of Dad's, really good local angler called Calvin Warnes, he might even be watching now. He taught me a lot through perhaps my later years, if you like, my teen years. And then, yeah, I carried on going. I think with me, one of the reasons I kept going was I got a job in a tackle shop when I was 14. And yeah, that sort of kept that fire burning, if you like. You know, I kept going and yeah, just kept a real interest in it, I guess. Paul Smith, who is your fishing idol, past or present? That's a pretty easy one, Paul. That would be John Wilson. Obviously, where we are in the country, he was local to here as well. And yeah, I think his Go Fishing programs, they inspired, you know, thousands of anglers up and down the country, and he definitely was up there for me. Yeah, as an idol, I guess. I was actually lucky enough to meet him, bless him, before he passed away through work, done a bit of filming with him, and yeah, I guess that was a bit of a boyhood dream come true, if you like. Thomas England, who's also got his own YouTube channel, I think, Fishing Tom. Why did you first pick up a camera? Who inspired you to make YouTube videos? Again, that would have been John Wilson, mate. Yeah, I think it was, what did it used to be? Something like 10:30 on a Thursday night, Go Fishing was on, and I remember sort of Dad had let us stay up, or we'd record it. Yeah, I think that them set of programs, I mean, they inspired a lot of people, and also I think if you had no interest in fishing, people still watch. I know my nana used to watch them, you know what I mean? She's got no interest in fishing or anything, but you know, they showed a bit of nature off, and he was very engaging. So, but him, I mean, others probably growing up as well would be Matt Hayes. You got his total fishing programs, the rod race. What other one did he do? Yeah, you know, again, you'd race home from school and they'd be on Discovery Shed at 3:30 or whatever they were. I used to watch all them, and then I don't know what really made me want to start doing it. I've always been quite creative with, you know, lots of different things, and yeah, just fancied giving it a go one day, and here we are. Stephen Buckingham, what fish have you not caught but always wanted to try to, and why did you choose fishing as a hobby instead of golf or something else like that? The fish bit I'll answer a bit later on because we had another similar question, but why did I choose fishing instead of golf? I think work had a big part in it, because I was working within like the industry or whatever you like to call it. I've always fished, and I used to actually do a lot of freshwater fishing and sea fishing, but gradually as I got a little bit older, you know, you discover pubs and women and going out, and yeah, the freshwater side I always found more time consuming, so that sort of dropped away a bit when I was about 17, 18, but carried on the sea fishing. Got a lot of other interests though, you know, I love watching football, love playing football, still do that twice a week. Used to be in a band, believe it or not, back in the day. Yeah, but fishing's always there. The thing I love about my sea fishing is I can do that in an evening. You know, you ain't got to spend 24 hours there, 48 hours there. You can go, you fish one tide, and then you're sort of done, if you like, you know. You get your fishing fix. Connor Stallard, how did you guys meet each other and become friends? Saltwater v fresh. That's actually an idea we've got this year, which I think we're going to try and plan sometime, perhaps in the spring or summer. But basically, we met each other through work as well. So I used to work closely with Steve's brother when we were both young. We were like two maggot boys, I guess, just doing all sorts of general jobs in the tackle shop. Then as we got a bit older, we sort of progressed, and then Steve joined, and then Steve's brother left, and then Steve's brother, he left, and then Steve sort of got promoted, but he was the new Maggot Boy, new Saturday boy, and then he came and worked a bit more closely with me, and we done loads of different things in the tackle shop. And then, you know, for a lot of years we were doing media and filming and stuff like that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much how we met. Where are we? So before I go on to answer any more, we'll go on to sort of the first little bit of footage to show. You know, here in the UK this year we have had a pretty grim winter. We've had more snow than we have done certainly for the past couple of years, since the Beast from the East really. And one thing I always wanted to film was try and catch a snow cup. So yeah, it all coincided. We both had a day off together. We had a load of snow, so we went out to try and give it a go.
Well, we've got one simple aim today, and that is to catch a carp in the snow for the photo album. So as you can see, we've got the snow. All we need to do is add the carp. Not been dealt the best hand, I must say. So pretty much all the lake is frozen apart from this sort of small channel where we've set up. So I think obviously the first thing to do is get the rods out. So they're out already. Bite time this time of year, certainly when conditions like this, is so small, you need to make the most of your time fishing. So those rods are out. We'll talk about baits and rigs in a moment, because I'm going to be moving them quite regularly in this little channel just to see if I can find a carp. There's some stick ups down to my right, so hopefully they might hold them as well. But second most important thing, certainly in these temperatures, is to get the kettle on. So the kettle is boiled nicely now. I've also made a little friend down here, a little robin. I'm not sure where they go in the summer, but they certainly come out when there's a bit of snow about. But this kettle's boiled now, so I'm gonna get these teas on, give those rods a freshen up in a little bit. Well, like I said, a tiny little gap we've got the fish in, but there's an area just out there and a rope coming down. There's a little gap about, I don't know, it's got to be 8 metres or so out. So I'm just going to flick just next to that rope, let that settle, and then I'm just going to put a few maggots over the top of that in a moment, and I'm just going to work my way down this channel, see if I can find one. I'll probably start the other rod the other end of the channel and then try and work to the middle. I generally think if it defrosts a little bit, it's only really thin ice, I think if we could cast and really search them, I think we would catch one. But you've got to pray that, I don't know, a bit of wind picks up or something and it melts the ice. But I'm going to get some maggots over the top of that and see what happens. Maybe not the one. Grim.
That's proper coming down now, mate. And our little channel of fishing is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
So as you can see, unfortunately we didn't get that snow cup, but that's still nice to be out there and something a little bit different to filming. But to go back to the questions, Tom Leavesley, which is your most favourite fish to catch? Can answer separately for river, lake and sea. I'll let Steve do that. And Jack Marler, what's your favourite saltwater fish to catch? So without a doubt it'd be the cod. Unfortunately here in Norfolk and probably Suffolk as well. The past few years they've been in a massive decline, but if they were still here, without a doubt, spent loads of time. Used to probably go once, maybe even twice a week years ago when the fish were here, and yeah, they'd be my favourite without a doubt. Secondly would probably be the smooth hound. I think just they fight so hard, you can still catch them local, and just, you know, it's associated with them lovely spring evenings on the beach. Callum, what are your biggest catches River, Lake and Sea? I would like to know. Again, mate, I'll do mine, and perhaps Steve will do a separate video in, you know, a mum's time or whatever, and he can give his answers. But my biggest ever sea fish was a 39 something cod from Norway. I was lucky enough around 10 or so years ago to have, it was sort of through work, I had about 8 or 10 trips in Norway, a lot of different places, and got some massive cod, coalfish, halibut, haddock. Yes, that's my biggest saltwater. Biggest freshwater was is a carp of 25 pound 8 ounces, I think, and again that was fishing with good friend Calvin Warnes many years ago on one of his syndicate waters. Aplo, what is the biggest cod you've ever caught? That was that fish from Norway. I'll try and pop some pictures up through all this as well. And my biggest PB cod off the beach from Suffolk Smudge 88. So PB cod off the beach is, I can't never remember the exact ounces, but it was 8 pounds something. That was caught from Orford Island probably 8-9 years ago now. Real cold night on Orford. Fishing with good friend Paul Stevens. I think I had one 8 pounds something, then another backup fish about 6 pound, and then I think he had similar. And yeah, that was when it was good, mate. We had a good winter that year. I remember there was a lot of fish around that size, 5, 6, 7, 8 pound. Yeah, good times. I'd love to think they return one day, but I'm not too sure. Seb Duran, the biggest fish caught by accident. So, I'm not gonna lie, Seb, I had a little think about this, because generally a lot of the time when you're beach fishing, you are hedging your bets anyway. You know, if you're using a big bait, you're trying to catch, you know, one of a handful of fish. So rather than biggest, I'm gonna go with the best fish I caught by accident, which was, it was a sole, must have been pushing nearly 2 pound, and it was fishing in the middle of December, freezing cold, I think at Pakefield. Big worm bait, 2 3 or 4 hooks in a pennel, and yeah, targeting cod, and this sole come trundle up the beach, and yeah, that was a surprise. Pete Kitchen, which fish have you never caught, sea or freshwater, that's at the top of your must catch list? Obviously you've now mastered the art of catching whiting. Yeah, I think I've had enough whiting to last me a lifetime. I've not got a massive desire to catch, you know, all the ray species or anything like that. It would probably be something really simple like a plaice. I've never caught a plaice. We don't get them around our part of the country, unfortunately. I've got a bit of a soft spot for flatfish as well. So, yeah, plaice, I think. So if anyone out there who's watching this can put us on to some good plaice fishing in the spring or the summer, then let us know, and perhaps bring the cameras, come down and have a session. But right, before I answer any more, a few more clips to show you. And this was about a month or so ago. And one of the good things with lockdown is because we've had to be local, it's made us get out and explore perhaps places we wouldn't have normally been to, or you just walk or drive straight past. And there's a little bit of river about a mile away from Steve's house, and strapped the GoPro on, took a walk down there and see if we could catch anything.
Catch up with me today halfway to my chosen spot for some lockdown fishing. So today we're going to be walking down to the local river, something that I have not done for absolutely ages, but we find ourselves in lockdown. Fishing is still allowed as long as you stay local. So on my travels throughout my exercise during this period, I've found one particular spot that I've never fished before. So I've literally got some maggots, a float rod and a net, and a rucksack on my back. So I'm going to go down there, see if there's anything there. If not, we've got a couple of spots to walk to as well. So fingers crossed there's some action, and just get out of the house and just try and be a bit more back to normality. So I've had a couple of runs through now, and I must say it's a little bit disappointing, just the amount of water that there is. It's absolutely bombing through here, and unfortunately we're not blessed here where we live with fish like barbel and big chub that would absolutely love these conditions. Sort of what I was, you know, probably expecting was sort of small dace and other bits like that, which aren't going to like this really, really fast current. But the actual river is like, the bank is probably 12 foot from where I'm standing. When we first initially came to this spot, it's a really small bit of river and it just looked mega, but it's quite a quirky place to fish. I'd imagine in the summer it creates a lot of attention. We've got a rope swing here, graffiti all on the bridge, and unfortunately there is a bit of litter and that around as well, which isn't good, but doesn't look like anglers. But yeah, I'd imagine it would probably be pretty intense in the summer. A lot of people down here. But tackle wise, I've gone really simple. I've got my favourite rod and reel, and then just a standard stick float setup with a shirt button style shotting pattern. Again, it's nothing complicated about the fishing we're doing here. It's more about staying light, being mobile, and just getting out for a few hours to make yourselves feel a bit better. But it's not looking good, but I'm going to give it 20 minutes, half an hour, see if anything comes along. Regular maggots going in, and we never know, something might be willing to happen. Well, I really don't think it's going to happen here. I think there's just too much water on, too much pace, and the fish I'm expecting here just aren't going to be happy with it. So I've got a couple of other spots to try. I'm going to get myself packed up and get down there. But before I go, I'm going to do my bit, pick some of this rubbish up. I said I don't think it's anglers, but whoever brought it here, it doesn't take long. Just take it home with you. It's one thing that really winds me up on a nice place like this. It's just rubbish laying there. So nice and simple, bit of a whinge, just take it home with you. But let's get to the next spot.
So unfortunately, as you can see there, the conditions were pretty savage. I mean, we had horrendous amounts of flood water. Everywhere was about 8 to 10 foot deep. We fished a few different places, and yeah, everywhere's just a mass of water and absolutely hammering through. But I think perhaps spring, when the season opened again, the river's fine down, I'm sure that spot would produce some fish. Back to the questions. Lloyd Summers Fishing, your favourite fishing YouTube channel? I watch an absolute ton of YouTube. My favourites, I haven't got a sole favourite because I watch them all, but you know, obviously you've got like Totally Awesome Fishing's a classic, Carl and Alex, Fish Locker, Smash Fishing. They're obviously like, you know, some of the bigger channels. Some of the smaller ones, I really like Fish Hunter. He does a lot of sea fishing purely because it's so raw and it's always a good laugh. What else you got? Bandit Fishing's another good one. Shore Fishing Essex, I really like that. He does a bit of foraging. Really, really watchable guy. Saltwater Angler, I think, is another one. Enjoy that. But what I'll do is I'll bang some links below because there might be some that you've not seen, and yeah, you might find them interesting too. Apologies as well if I've forgotten anyone, because I'm terrible. I should comment more, but I'm not normally logged in on my phone, and I watch 99% of it on my phone as well. Daniel Cerullo, which one of you is the best all-round angler? Really fair answer here, me. No. To be fair, it's different sorts, isn't there? So Steve is predominantly a match angler and then a big carp angler, and he has been through the years. And I used to do a lot of specimen fishing and sea fishing, so pretty much between us we've got things covered. So if we go out somewhere, we'll tend to sort of, you know, work together and say, you know, do you think the fish are going to be here, or do you think we should do this, or should we try this video or this spot? So yeah, it's hard to say, but if I have to give an answer, then me. Chris Whitby, when did you fix that missing guide ceramic on your beach rod? Bad, mate, I didn't, believe it or not. And shh, don't tell him, but the rods I was using in the last video were actually Steve's brothers. When we worked in the tackle shop, we both bought ourselves the same rods, and he doesn't go anymore. And I think about a month or so ago, no, about a month before lockdown came in, on the beach. Big gust of wind, real windy. The whole tripod's gone over and it's pretty much smashed all the rings. So I had to have an emergency set, and yeah, I think Steve nicked them out of his mum dad's garage, so I don't think he knows I've got them, but I do need to get some more, I know. Christopher Nicholson, do you drink Guinness? Probably once a year on St Patrick's Day, but other than that it's all about lager for me. I think Steve does though. Roy Wilson, when are you going to marry my daughter? Roy Wilson is my father-in-law, and yeah, I'm engaged to his daughter. And I think it's tradition, isn't it, that the father of the bride pays? So these aren't so much questions, but these are ideas that people have suggested. So if you like the sound of any of these, then drop it in the comments below. But Atkinson2627, are you going to do another Fish for Miles? That was basically a sea fishing video we filmed a couple of years ago. And for every centimetre of fish, I got it was a mile or whatever home. Similar-ish to the rod race, was it? If you'd like to see another one of them, let us know. Pete Kitchen, have you ever considered hosting a beach fishing session for your followers on here? Could be a social event, opportunity for a competition, maybe raising funds. I live in Brum but often travel to Norfolk and Suffolk. Would be more than happy to travel. Again, if that's something anyone would like to see, drop it below, and you know, perhaps we could sort something out when it's all safe and legal to do so. Porthcrawl Dangler, would you be entering into any Shore League matches? If so, it'd be nice to see a video as to how things are run. That's not really my cup of tea. I've not really got a massive desire to, but if people perhaps wanted to see that, then yeah, I'm sure there's something we could enter and give a go to. But that's pretty much all the questions. But before we sign off, a few more clips to show you from a video that's actually live now. We went and done a spot of jig fishing. Here in Norfolk, we're lucky, we've got the vast river system and the Norfolk Broads, and we went out and done a bit of exploring. Again, all pretty local stuff, obviously staying with the guidelines. And yeah, just had a fun day jig fishing. It wasn't the most fish filled, but we did catch a few fish, so here's a few clips from that.
Join us today on a bit of a predator fishing adventure. The plan today is going to be fishing a lot of dikes, stays, boatyards, places like that. If I don't get nothing in 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, keep hopping back to the car. If not, we'll move on to the next spot. Whee! The first bite. Well, it's been a pretty tough morning, and we now find ourselves in the middle of Wroxham Centre. Oh no, this just about sums up today. It's not even a perch or a pike. Oh, there's a bite.
Oh, nice.
Certainly a better start to the morning, so we'll get this one slipped back, a few more casts in this spot before we head off somewhere else, but certainly looking a bit brighter.
So as I say, that video is live on our channel now, so I'll pop a link below for that if you've not seen it, because yeah, that's worth a watch. But I think that's pretty much us, to be honest with you. Fingers crossed now. We're coming into spring, restrictions are hopefully going to be lifted, we're going to have some better weather, lighter evenings, and most importantly, a few fish. So we've got quite a few ideas in the pipeline. If you stuck with us, I do appreciate it. Please give the video a like. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. But all that's left to say is, as always, thanks for watching, be lucky, and we'll see you again on the next one.